Hello, Purdue Global students and alumni, and welcome to today's session on how to find career opportunities in applied behavioral analysis, or ABA. Today's presentation is brought to you by your Career Services Department. So today we're going to talk about how to find job opportunities or career opportunities, as well as internships, because the process is very similar, in the field of applied behavioral analysis. Keep in mind that the first thing that you're going to want to do as you explore these opportunities is research. And there's three main areas of research that we're going to talk about today. The first is using the Behavior Analyst Certification Board website, which is www.bacb.com. Hopefully you visited the site already, but if not, we encourage you to spend some time looking at all the different features of that website. The second way today that we'll talk about is the general Google search and how that can be effective. And the third is how to use the Autism Speaks website to identify potential opportunities. So let's start by talking about the Behavior Analyst Certification Board. Again, the website is www.bacb.com. So the first step is you'll want to navigate to that website and find the area where it says Find a Certificate. Once you click on that button, you'll be prompted to enter your zip code and agree to the terms of service, as shown here on your screen. Step 3, you'll see a results page with names, cities, and certain designations of BCABAs and BCBAs in your area. So you want to identify the BCBAs that are in your area that are willing to supervise those pursuing certification. And the way that you can tell that is by the column that says supervision. If it has a B or a C, you'll see here, if it has a B, it means that that individual is willing to supervise those pursuing their BCABA, and a C would indicate that they're willing to supervise those pursuing BCBA certification. So you'll want to look for that B or C designation. You can contact them directly by clicking on their name, which will take you to a communication form where you can input your information and submit that correspondence to them, inquiring about opportunities that they may have available. You always want to remember to be professional and concise in your correspondence. And be sure to include a phone number and email address where you could be contacted so they could get back in touch with you. You can also use Google as a wonderful resource given the information that you've identified already on the BACB website. So if you look at this list again, know that this is a list of industry professionals that are in your area. So it can also be a guide to finding industry employers that are close to you. And so you might ask, well, how can I do that? How does that happen? So for example, you see one of the individuals that we've highlighted here on the list, the first one, Miss Preeti Devgan. Now, per this list, if we look over in the supervision column, she's not able to supervise those pursuing certification. However, if we do a quick Google search of her name, we would find her public LinkedIn page, and that she currently works for an organization called Threshold Center for Autism. Now, you've identified an organization that is in your area. A quick Google search of Threshold Center for Autism, right here, shows us that the organization has a website that we can click on and navigate to their careers page and fill out an application to be considered for an entry-level trainer position. And the trainer position works to implement the therapy plan that the BCBA has outlined for the client, and it's also a common starting point for those entering the field. There may be different variations of the name, whether it be a line therapist or an RBT, but this is a great place to start. So continuing on with that, we're on the website and we're able to navigate and locate additional employees and information about the leadership team. So we're continuing our research on Threshold Center for Autism. We've identified through their leadership team in the analysis division that Martisa Register and Stan Register are both BCBAs. So if we go back to the BACB website and we look up both of their names, right here you'll see the results. As it turns out, they're both able to supervise. They've got the B and the C next to both of their names. So now not only have you found a new industry employer, you have found a new industry employer that is, number one, currently accepting applications for entry-level positions, which is fantastic. And two, they employ two BCBAs that are also willing to provide supervision. So we accomplished all of this by just using the first name on that initial results page from the BACB website, even though that person wasn't even able to supervise. So you can see how that results list from the BACB website, every name is a name that could potentially lead you to uncovering who the industry employers are in your area and who industry employers are that might employ BCBAs that are willing to supervise those pursuing certification. So with that being in mind, another way to identify organizations in general in your area is through the Autism Speaks website. Now, if you think about service providers and the population that someone with a BCBA or someone working in the field of applied behavioral analysis, if you think about the audience or the clients that they may be working with, this is one area of the field that you may encounter, and that's working with those that may be on the autism spectrum. So if you go to the Autism Speaks website, which is autismspeaks.org, once you're on that site, you can navigate at the very top to where it says Resource Guide, right here. And after that, you'll see a map and a list of states. And what you'll want to do is select your state, and it will actually provide you a comprehensive list of ABA providers in your area or in your state, and then you can narrow it down to your specific area. So you'll see once you click on the state, let's say an example of Florida, right here you'll see that there are, when you navigate down to interventions, which is right here, and interventions is the subtitle, subcategory that you want to look for. You'll see beneath that it says applied behavioral analysis, and that there are 252 providers that are listed here. Providers can opt in to have their information listed on this website. So I would check back often because that number can continue to grow. So you can sort through those and pick those that are geographically closest to you. And then what I would suggest is creating an Excel spreadsheet so that you can stay organized, keep track of your resume submissions and interviews that you might have with any of these employers. And remember to research the organizations before you reach out to them. Remember, you only get one chance to make a strong first impression. So, a few reminders. The majority of internships are unpaid, but you may be able to find entry-level positions that are paid and arrange for supervision towards the BCBA as part of your employment with that organization. Internships and entry-level employment can be part-time or full-time, depending on the needs of the client. And you definitely want to remember to stay organized, to follow up, and to have references available. We thank you so much for your time. We hope this information has been helpful. And if you are looking for any additional assistance from the Career Services team, don't hesitate to reach out to careerservices@purdueglobal.edu. Thank you so much.